Hi, I'm George.
And I'm Dave.
And we are Guitar Guys, and we assume that you are too if you're watching this video. This is our first episode of Guitar Guys, which is going to be a web show basically designed to talk about gear and guitars. We're going to be talking about all sorts of different things and hopefully debunking some myths and bringing you useful information. Guitar Guys is sponsored by ToneShapers. ToneShapers is a guitar company that makes wiring products for electric guitars, and for more information about it you can click on the links below and learn all about it.
So since this is our first episode, we'll tell you a little bit about ourselves. I'm a working guitar player here in Vero Beach, Florida. Play about 4 or 5 gigs a week. I host a blues jam, do a little session work when I can get that, and just try to make a living playing the guitar.
I have a company called ToneShapers. I'm owner of the company and a co-founder. I've had a couple of guitar companies that I've been associated with over the years. I've played guitar for a long time. I was a guitar tech for years, and now we've focused on guitar wiring products for about the last maybe 15 years with a couple of different companies. Dave hosts a couple of blues jams, actually, don't you? Sometimes I'll go and play, and it's always a blast. So if you're ever in the Vero Beach area, traveling up and down I-95, I-95 runs right past Vero Beach. So if you ever are in this area, feel free to look us up and come out and play.
And we have some great musicians here in town that come to the jam, and I have a feeling some of them will be stopping by the studio here. As you can see, we have drums and a bass rig, so we like to jam here and just have fun and talk about gear.
Yeah, so hopefully you'll find this show interesting. We will try to pay attention to comments, and feel free to send us an email if you want and give us some feedback on what you'd like to see or your opinions about what we've had to say. All right, tell me about that guitar.
This is a custom shop Fender Strat, totally stock. I believe it is a 59, they call it, Journeyman, lightly relict. It was a birthday present from a very good friend of mine, and one of my favorite guitars that I own. Love it. I'm a huge fan of Kinman pickups, and I usually put Kinman pickups in all of my Strats and Tellys, but I just couldn't bring myself to take this one apart. I'm just, it's a little noisy like most Strats, but I'm living with the noise. I can't bring it to every single gig that I play because there are some places where they have light dimmers and bad electric, and you step on the overdrive pedal and the noise is as loud as the clean tone. So I won't bring it to every gig. Or if I do, I always have a backup guitar with noiseless pickups in it.
And didn't you tell me that does not have a reverse wound middle pickup?
It does not.
Is that right? Yeah.
Noise in all 5 positions.
So for those of you who wonder about that, what does RWRP mean? Listen to the difference between that guitar and this guitar. There's position 1, but position 2 is quiet. 3, 4 is quiet, and 5 is noisy. And so having a reverse wound, reverse polarity middle pickup means that in this combination and in this combination, the 2 and the 4 position, the hum goes away.
Which brings me to another question that I've heard debated. in those notch positions, will it sound any different by having that, besides the noise issue, is the tone any different by reverse wiring on that middle pickup?
You know,
I've heard that debated.
Yeah, I've heard it debated too. You know, it seems to me that the problem with this kind of stuff is that guys will often take two different guitars, like these two, and say, well, listen to how this one sounds in position 2 and listen to how that one sounds in position 2, and then they'll draw some conclusion. And I've even seen this done in magazines where they're trying to compare, you know, a couple of guitars and tonally. And man, I have this idea that the body and the neck, the wood of the guitar, sort of establishes its inherent tonality. And so you really need to do your experimentation on a single guitar. And
have any of the famous pickup builders tested this?
Oh, I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm guessing. I mean, Seymour Duncan. I got a tour one time with Seymour Duncan, and they had a couple of labs. Seymour's room was one of them, but there was another lab too where, you know, it was clearly set up to do a bunch of testing and stuff. So, yeah, I'm sure that they have. But I think that, again, what you'd have to do is you'd have to maybe make two pickguards, the same pickups, but have, you know, maybe buy two sets from Fralin or whatever and say, make one of them without a reverse middle, but make everything about them the same otherwise. I mean, within, you know, the capability. And then, you know, you record one, and then you take the pickguard off, you put another one, and you record it, because even the 30 minutes it's going to take you to change the pickguard, you lose that frame of reference. You know, it's that thing about when you go to an eye doctor and they say, you know, is A better or B? A, and you go, let me see B again. You know, it's like that instantaneous comparison. And we did that with a Strat, actually. We had a Strat, this was another thing back when we sold the Lawlers. We did about 13 pickguards, all with different pickups. And they were pickups that we sold, and that's why we were doing it. We did 4 different Lawler pickups. We did some of the Fralins. We did all the custom shop pickups. And I had a friend who was a serious guitar player, great guitar player, and we just recorded that for like 2 days. All of these different licks and riffs, and that's why it was the same player, same guitar, same amp settings. We even, you know, made sure that the mic placement in front of the amp didn't change or any of that stuff. And you know, you could definitely hear some differences in the pickups that way that I think you wouldn't have heard if you had certainly tried them in 2 different guitars. So maybe that's another thing we can try someday.
Okay. I mean, I sometimes get mad at myself for getting too caught up in these discussions because I just want to play, obviously, at the end of the day.
Right.
Have a great tone, play, and be happy. But you can't help when someone says, you know how you could make that guitar sound even better? You can't help but get pulled into that and go, ooh, what can I do?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and we probably all have been pulled into some of the smoke and mirrors, you know. I'm sure that that's happened to everybody who's watching this. So Dave, what'd you bring today?
This is a GJ2 Telly. I don't know if they call it a Telly, but this is Grover Jackson's new company. Those of you who don't know, Grover Jackson had Jackson guitars for many years. And I got a chance to meet him, and it was one of the most incredible days. Got to go out to lunch with him and ask him about some of my favorite guitar players that he's made guitars for, like Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads. And we went back to the factory, and he told me he'd like to build me a guitar, and he let me pick out some wood and some parts. And this was a piece of sugar pine that he showed me that is really light. And I love light guitars because I play so many 4-hour gigs. Cocobolo fingerboard, maple neck, double bound. I was always a huge fan of the double bound look. But one thing I wanted to do, I love Strat pickups for neck and middle, but I wanted a little more beef in the bridge. I know this looks like a gold foil pickup. It's not. It's the original P90 that Grover put in here, and Grover does his own pickups. It's just got this gold foil cover on it, which I thought looked cool because I didn't come across any P90 covers that were white. I don't think anybody makes a white cover. Cream or black is what I found. So I think this looks cool on here, and it happened to fit. And it's just a cool guitar.
Let's hear it.
Let's play a little bit. Yeah, it's got nice tone, and it's light, and it's got a great neck. The frets, I believe, are stainless steel, so they should last a real long time. That's another debate I've heard. Do stainless steel frets not sound as good? I don't know.
Man, I'll tell you, my experience with stainless steel frets is it seems like because they wear better, sometimes you don't get like it feels smoother to bend on them. Do you feel?
I love the way it feels. Mm-hmm. You know, I've heard so many people go, they feel great, but the sustain's not there. I mean, you just heard the guitar. I think the guitar's got great sustain, so it doesn't bother me in terms of tone.
Yeah, there are an awful lot of respected builders using stainless wire. It's hard to imagine, but why don't you play it a little bit like clean? Let's hear what it sounds like without me playing, and let's just hear that guitar solo.
All right, I'm going to turn the delay off as well. So. I did one thing to it. I reversed the wires on the 5-way switch, so when I'm here where I'd normally be on the neck pickup, I'm actually on the middle pickup. So when I'm in that notch position, it's the same, right? When I'm here, now I'm on the neck pickup. Mm-hmm. When I'm here now, I'm getting these two.
Gotcha.
And that was really the main reason I did it, because with a 5-way switch, you can't get bridge and neck.
Right.
Now I know there's a lot of other things you could do, but this just worked for me. And of course bridge. So. Not typical Telly tone with that P90. It's got a lot of output. That was a concern I had, that maybe this pickup was going to really overpower these pickups. And he said he would wind these a little hotter, maybe this one a little less than he did. So it corrected the problem a little bit, but still, that's just something that happens when you're combining, humbuckers with Strat pickups or P90s.
Yeah, it's a lot more output.
Yeah. I adjusted it down, but then didn't like the tone as much, so I brought it back up. But, you just noodle with these things until you can get them right. Maybe I may end up eventually going with something even hotter in the neck. I don't know.
How's the neck pickup sound?
Real glassy. Pretty tone. And there's a bridge. Hear that?
That
volume really jumps.
Yeah.
You don't notice it as much when I'm gained up, because it'll add gain instead of volume.
Yeah.
But it's something I've battled with on many guitars.
Well, how about the neck middle position? How's that sound? Do you use that much?
Occasionally, yeah. You know, especially for kind of like funky stuff. Great guitar. Check out GJ2's website, Grover Jackson. Good stuff.
So Dave brought this Washburn guitar in. This is a guitar that it looks like maybe hasn't been played much lately. And it's, you know, it's got a few things like sort of the scratchy input jack. It probably needs a little bit of cleaning up and setup. But we thought, well, while we're at it, this would be a great candidate to put one of our ToneShaper wiring kits in. These are the components that make up the ToneShaper wiring kit that will be in this guitar. There's also, of course, a 5-way switch. Basically, these are regular pots. They're mounted onto a circuit board, and that allows us to connect them together with little wire assemblies so that you don't have to solder. And they add additional flexibility and switching options that you wouldn't normally have with stock wiring. So they're quick and easy to install. They require no soldering. The pickups connect with no soldering. If you're a pickup swapper, then it makes it really easy to swap pickups once these are installed in the guitar. And again, they offer tonal flexibility that you wouldn't normally have. So it's a great wiring option. The price is very reasonable. Cheaper than a cheap pedal in most cases. And we're going to put these in this guitar and just wholesale replace the electronics except the pickups. We'll keep the pickups and we'll do a setup on it and get it really dialed in. And then Dave will demonstrate it in a future episode after we've done that work on it. I think you want to put it up for sale, right?
I think so, yeah. I don't really play it much. This is, I believe it's early 90s. From the Washburn Custom Shop, American guitar, locking tuners, Wilkinson trim. I don't think I have the arm for it. I've been looking for it. I haven't been able to find it. I don't think that should be too hard to get online. It looks like a nice maple top, mahogany back. Body feels a little smaller, I think, than your typical kind of Strat style guitar. Right? It looks like the distance from the bridge to the back might be.
Yeah, you can see compared to
which I know Washburn made the Nuno Betancourt model. I don't think it's exactly that shape. It looks like it's somewhere between that and your kind of typical double cutaway body. But 2 humbuckers. We're going to have to check when we'll look under these and see what they are. They're probably Duncan's, mounted right into the wood. No mounting ring. But nice chunky neck.
It's a pretty sharp guitar. The figure on the top, we'll have to see whether or not the video cameras are really going to pick that up. But we'll shoot some still photos of it too when it's ready to go up for sale, so you can really see. Because from this angle right now, there's a lot of figure in the top. That's a really nice piece of maple, and some of you will have noticed that it follows the forearm contour. It's not a slab top. So I think it's a really cool guitar.
Yeah.
And it'll have 5-way switching that will do coil splitting as well as humbucker options and that kind of stuff. And we'll talk more about that once we get it completed.
Cool.
Well, that's it. We hope that you enjoyed the stuff that we've talked about and watching us goof around, and hopefully you'll come back and watch more of these episodes. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.